My name is Dyanna. I'm 30 years old. I've been married for 8 years.
I've always wanted to be a dad, a good husband, have a great family. It's always been like my #1 priority in life. Pregnancy was amazing. There were times where, it was a little rough, but, my wife's, she's a super strong woman, very brave.
I actually had a really good birth experience. It wasn't until my 6-week postpartum appointment that I started to notice that things were not so normal. My doctor came in and did her exam, and it just seemed really rushed, and I got that feeling that nobody really cared about me anymore because I wasn't pregnant.
I saw a lot of the anxiety come in harder than normal. Started worrying about, germs and SIDS and making sure everything was perfect. She was afraid to leave the baby alone. She was always worried that something bad was going to happen to the baby, even when, she was perfectly fine.
I would go check on my daughter at least every hour. And that just kind of evolved into even more anxiety. I wasn't sleeping. Sleep deprivation was encouraging all of these symptoms, I guess. And as time went on, I would cry a lot. I just noticed that I wasn't being myself. And I kind of slipped more into a depression after probably about 3 months into it.
I was trying to help. I was trying to do the classic male role where you try to fix it. Because that's what we want to do. We want to fix it and make it right. And it was the exact opposite thing that I needed to do.
It's not just I need you to do this. It was more of I needed his emotional support.
I couldn't understand what was going wrong, and she couldn't find a way to tell me what was going wrong. At least not though I could find a way to understand at first. So it was actually very difficult.
You can't just go up to somebody and tell them, I'm feeling suicidal, or, I'm having intrusive thought. That stuff is very hard to say. And I did have some intrusive thought. That was scary for me. And, I stepped back after I calmed down, and I'm wondering, why am I thinking those things? What kind of monster am I? There are many times that I felt like ending my own life. And it was mostly because I felt like my daughter needed a better mom, that she deserved more than what I could give her because of me not feeling like me, of all of the symptoms that I had. And I felt so hopeless that I was never going to be myself again. And I didn't want to continue putting her and my husband through all of this with me. And my thought process was more they'd be better off without me. There was a support group at the hospital that I gave birth at. So I went one night and I was greeted by a room full of other women. I felt very comfortable. And I was able to kind of share my story, and listening to other women talk about their experiences gave me a sense of relief, knowing that I wasn't the only one that has thought that way or felt those things. And not that it's normal to feel those things, but it is very common. I went to the support group for a little over a year, and I did try to go to a couple of different therapists. I kept trying to find different people that fit my personality, if that makes sense. And once I did find the right therapist, I remember driving home crying because I finally felt hope. I knew that I could finally be happy again. And I just remember looking out my window and noticing how beautiful grass was. And I went home and cried to my husband because it was just so emotional knowing that I had that hope again. I could feel that. And I hadn't felt that in such a long time.
What does she actually need from you? Don't just try to fix it your way. Ask her how she needs you to fix it. Look for what she's looking for to help her bring her comfort. That's what I would tell you to do most.
I think like the most important thing that I needed and that I would tell other women is that it's going to be okay. Like, there is hope, and there are people out there that understand and will help get you through this. And it's not easy, but it's possible. Don't give up, like, keep fighting.
A program of your Oklahoma State Department of Health.